Let me bring in Sumit Peer and understand from him what he makes of this, because it's just not economics here, right? It's not the economy. It's like they say, it's the economic stupid, but it is not. It is also the geopolitical equation that will define, Sumit, what these countries end up doing to each other when it comes to tariffs. India, obviously, far behind the Americans when it comes to GDP, far behind the Americans when it comes to regular growth. We are more entitled, or we have the larger prerogative or responsibility over here to be a tad bit protectionist.
Vinny, thank you very much for having me on your show. Interesting debate and a good question, sir. Look, the first and the most important thing is when India is talking the deal right now, the position of India has changed what it was 10 years back. Today, America needs India more than ever before. You have to delink your supply chains from China. You need a pivot in Indo-Pacific. There is no Quad without India, and there is no bigger market growing at this rate. There is no country which has 700, 800 million youth. There is not an economy which will grow at this year for the next 30 years. There is not a country which will almost be hitting $34 trillion of GDP next 20 to 25 to 30 years. Look at all these things, and the demographic dividend is going to be there for 70 years. You have a democracy, you have a resilient government, and you have a IPR protection, you have a transparent banking system, and we do not hedge or manipulate foreign currency. Neither do we steal IPR. Neither we have any territorial ambitions within you, or we want to get into your bedrooms and bathrooms and steal your data. With all those things done, India is at a very commanding position. I'm sure the deal will be done, which I've been stretching my neck out and saying it's a matter of time. Look, with it, defense deal, with it that that repatriation thing is sorted out, and with it the most important thing is we need now the taxes are maximum at around 10%. On average, we can accept 4 to 7% taxes on average. Some cases it might go to 10%. Remember at 4%, when Obama got China into the American, supply chains, the tax was 4%. He gave a FMN status, most favored nation, and after that, China became a part of US supply chains and the global supply chains. Now, practically, you are entering at some kind of that say 6, 7, 8% on average. It's fantastically good. This will help to increase our GDP, our reach, and eventually the rise of India will determine the fall of China. That is what is going to happen, because even if you look at what the numbers are out, Vineet, with this trade fiasco going on, Kohli sir made an important point. Even at 26%, we're impacted by 2 billion. Now I'm quoting your competing media publication. I will not take the name. There are and a couple of others, and a couple of global others. The impact of Trump's trade fiasco on China is $440 billion. They have lost $440 billion of export trade in this point of time. You can imagine the quantum of damage what it can have, and you can imagine the quantum of advantage it you have. And yesterday, Trump also threatened for both the BRICS nations will have 10% more tariff. That is more directed towards the China. And in today, the 14 letters which are issued, which includes allies like South Korea, which includes allies like Japan, but India is kept out of it. I think the trade will be a beginning, but at the same time, we are very adamant on agriculture. It's not about of money. We have about 40-50% of the population depending on agriculture. There is no way we can jeopardize their interest. So, agriculture and dairy have been always kept out. We'll keep out. We will be willing to open some more sectors. Americans have to learn and respect our sensitivities. And if I am, if I recall what did President Trump said to the reporters, he says a matter of 48 hours we'll have the deal done. Our delegation is back. Our commerce minister is okay with it. Supposedly, Modi ji is okay with it. Their delegation has approved it. Their treasury secretary, their commerce secretary has approved it. Now it's lying on the table of Donald Trump. And knowing Trump, he will try to pull out one or two quick ones. But ultimately, Trump knows this deal is very sacrosanct for him. It opens gates of opportunities. And Vineet ji, when you become a part of the American supply chains, it's a matter of time you will be a part of European supply chains. You will be a part of South African and South American supply chains. It's a matter of time. And that FTA, which we stuck with Europe, which Duasa was saying last time, for 16 years, it's a matter of time. After that, you will see that will accelerate on it. And a couple of others are going to come. So it's a very, very good news for Bharat. And we will safeguard our interests. We will protect our farmers. At the same time, we are looking for $500 billion of business we need. That is what is important for a country of our size. Yes, we have to protect our sectors. Yes, we have to be very guarded on some sectors, and that Americans have to understand. But let me remind them, for the sake of putting the data into the perspective, Mr. Trump, you have more than 1,500 MNCs here. You're clocking $65 to $85 billion of revenue annually from these operations in India. So we are already doing well. We are not a closed country. But if you want us to open the kitchen and the kitchen sink, well, that will not happen. And that is, that is the rule of the game. But India is an open country, it's a democratic country, and your fortunes 20 years down the line will be much better than what your Obama build a Frankenstein like China. You are not building a Frankenstein like China. You are building a good partner and a buddy like India, where the civilizational connect is there. We have the most powerful diaspora there. Our diaspora, 1% contributing 6% of your tax revenues and counting and counting and counting. So the all in all, largest democracy and the oldest democracy getting together. Yes, there will be some things which will be sensitive of. You have to appreciate them, you have to respect them, and you don't have to be adamant around them. And we as India are not going to compromise on them in any way whatsoever, as in what you might like or plead. We want trade, we want deals, but we are not going to take your dictations, and we are not going to work on your whims and fancies. And I've been always maintaining one line. India is a civilizational force. It is not a lackey or a sidekick, which Americans like to have in most of the cases. We are not that, Mr. Trump. If you agree to that, you appreciate that, we are in for all the business and trade and vyapar, but not at the cost of sovereignty and compromise on the foreign policy. That is our limited take on it.